Welcome to the S.A.M experience. Today, Samwise the Strong, AJ the Majestic, and Max the Minimum will be discussing some of their past jobs, the great and powerful Waffle House, surgery situations, and most importantly, how dumb Max was as a child. Alright, let's just address the elephant in the room right now. I got beef with both of you. It's like I'm at freaking Wendy's right now, dude. Where's the beef? So, who's starting for it first? Are we starting with AJ or are we starting with Sam?
No, man, I'm just trying to drink this coffee.
We got beef, though.
We got beef?
You can't be drinking coffee when we got beef.
We have unsettled beef?
We have unsettled beef, dude. This isn't even salted beef. This is just straight beef.
Beefing?
Oh, no.
Uncooked, just in the freaking little bowl, waiting to become meatballs. Spicy Italian meatballs.
What could I have ever done to you, Max?
We had to skip a week, AJ, because you didn't show up because you were partying hard.
Yeah, that was a
goodness, AJ.
That was a mistake. I had a rough weekend. I always have a rough weekend. Yeah.
So AJ, you want to elaborate? Don't worry, Sam. We'll get to your beef with
What do you mean
me
my
in a
beef?
minute.
There's no beef with me.
There's a lot of beef. We got mega beef, dude.
So
Oh, no.
here, all right, I'll explain myself. Number one, first of all, I really should follow your lifestyle more closely, Max. No, I'm being honest. You know, just drinking is not great. It's just not. You feel so bad, and you like physically and mentally, and like you get a little bit of a rush for those couple hours where you're like cruising. But anyway, yeah, I had a big old plate of regretty spaghetti the next morning. Yeah.
That'll serve perfectly with my spicy Italian beef meatballs.
To be fair, though, we did get some work done later that day. But regardless, yeah, I don't really have another excuse other than I chose to go out and participate in society, and it was a mistake.
It wasn't a mistake, AJ. Yeah.
Well,
we gotta beef that one. We actually gotta beef that one.
are we? Yeah. Well, are we resolved?
We are resolved. The beef is no more.
All right.
But Sam, I got beef with you.
What do you mean?
Sam, have you
All right.
listened to the last episode?
No, I have not.
We should call you just Mr. Clackies because you're out here writing an essay on your keyboard the whole time.
Does it actually pick that up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it picks up
Oh,
every keyboard
no.
stroke and click.
The thing is, Sam, and I can't even like.
I have nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't even.
That's
edit
not
it
me.
up.
That's
It's not
not
you.
Wait, Sam, then why did you say, wait, it picks up every stroke?
Because all right. Well, first of all, right. I can't comment on anything that might be happening right now, but I do have homework to do by a certain time tonight.
Sam,
That
we could have
being
moved
said-
this.
I figured it wouldn't be a problem.
What is his homework on?
It's some statistical methods here and there, but I think it'll be okay. No comment on certain things, but the class, we're a very unified class, so to speak. So I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. We
Well-
help each other out, so to speak.
Well, our beef is resolved. I just wanted to make fun of you for a minute.
Hey.
We are going to put you on blast in the second episode edit, which we're doing sometime this week.
True.
All right.
Thing is, I
It'll
can't
be
even.
aight.
I can't even like edit out the clicking because it's inconsistent and it's not a single pitch. Like the way Audacity works, or at least the way I know to use it, is you take like a certain segment of sound, of background sound. So like say for example, like there's like a whine or like you have a fan going or something. You take that and then you feed it back into Audacity, and Audacity will just cancel out everything that sounds like that. But every time
so
you
what
click,
you gotta take every single pitch that happens, that occurs, and you just gotta edit all of them out, dude.
just do it by hand.
Yeah.
You got to just edit Sam completely out of the podcast. So it's just me and you, and then anytime Sam talks, it just was like empty void.
No.
And we're, like,
You gotta have
asking
like
Sam
you gotta have like
questions when he's
Siri or
not
like
there.
the Google Translate voice. Just take all of my lines.
Just take all. Okay, so we're gonna take all Sam's lines, transcribe them into like written, and then feed it back into like an artificial speech program.
Exactly.
And we'll
But
just
like
have
not like a good one.
Yeah, no, it can't be a good one.
Dude, that'd be actually kind of cool. Now, are we gonna do that? No.
yeah, probably not. Probably
We're
not.
just gonna leave the clacking in there, and we're just gonna put you on blast every time.
I don't know if a reputation. This is only episode 3. I don't know if a reputation could take that hit right now, dude. It's,
Well, did you watch the first one that
I
I sent
can't
you the
watch
link
it
to?
now.
That's a good point. He makes a good point. Now is not the
Yeah.
time to watch that.
Yeah, it is not. Indeed, not at the time. We are really killing it though. Like our first video turned out pretty well.
I'm glad it did.
At
like
least I
this-
think it did.
No, we did a good job editing it, Max.
Yeah.
So, just for posterity's sake, can you guys hear this? No, you can't. How does my mic pick that up in Audacity then?
Well, because you probably have a suppressor over what we're doing on.
Yeah, I think Discord naturally suppresses, doesn't it?
Well, you didn't have it
Yeah.
on last week.
Well, we're going to when you did that little bit, we're gonna throw a picture of a keyboard right there. Sam, what kind of keyboard you got?
I got this is this old Dell keyboard from a while back, man.
Wait, is this the memory like a not memory foam? What do they call them? Membrane keyboard?
No, nothing like that, man. I don't think so. What's that? What even is a memory keyboard actually?
It's
Dedication classic.
it's a keyboard that has like no mechanical switches. It's just like a flat mat.
This might be a membrane keyboard. No,
Damn.
ew, no. Oh, that's disgusting. I think it's just a mechanical keyboard.
Yeah, Sam said I'm an elite gamer.
Truly.
Why is that like an elite gamer thing to do?
Yeah, elite gamers have to have like mechanical keyboards. They can't function without one. You guys should know. You guys are the ones that play video games.
Whoa.
Okay.
I've gone completely celibate with
I w-
video games.
I will say this: the current keyboard that I have was a hand-me-down from young Santi.
Uh huh.
So I didn't pick it out for myself, but I will say it's a nice piece of hardware. Gets the job done.
Oh, my keyboard's a cheap one, boys. You can buy it on eBay for oh no, these are all used. As low as $298 if you're interested. The Dell SK8110. Anybody out there looking for a new keyboard? $298 eBay right now.
Hit 'em up.
I would look it up, but then my keyboard's gonna clack and you're gonna hear it, and then I'm gonna get called out on the podcast.
Please.
That would be tragic.
And then I gotta have beef
I
with
wouldn't
myself.
make even my worst enemy go through something like that.
All right, now that we have addressed the elephant in the room, how's everybody doing?
Yeah. I got a story. If you want to
Okay.
get into it. To first answer your question though, I am doing pretty well. I went for a long
That's-
run today, but my legs are very sore now.
That's what we like to hear.
And you know, it's funny because I was talking to you earlier, and I mentioned that I was like wiped out after work, and I was gonna go home and sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't sleep, so I decided to get a little work done, and then I was like, all right, I'm feeling pent up, got like pent up energy. Let me try it for a run. I didn't expect anything out of it, and then all of a sudden I ran like way more than I have recently, so I surprised myself, and yeah, ended up being a net positive, I would say.
I don't understand how one, people can run, and two, people can sleep in the middle of the day.
It's not like sleeping. I used to not be able to sleep in the middle of the day, but ever since I started like working really early, and like when I have a half day and like I didn't
Mhm.
sleep well for several consecutive days due to various reasons,
Because you're up all night gaming.
that may contribute to my sleep cycle being out of whack. But
Gamers.
yeah, back on topic though. What I was trying to say. Actually, I'm just gonna pitch this topic to everybody. I would like some weigh-ins, if you will, Sam. So I hope you're listening. You ever see somebody's name like written out? You've never met this person before. You've never seen them. You have no prior interaction with them, and you see somebody's name, and you can just tell by seeing their name that they're gonna suck.
I have never had this occur in my life, but maybe I just haven't met someone that special yet.
Never had this phenomenon.
Yeah.
You're
So
telling me you just never like look at a name and just be like, they're gonna give me so much trouble.
No,
not once.
I can't say I've had the displeasure.
Well, the way I see it, right, is that well, first of all, can you guys hear Brian in the background? I probably should.
No.
Okay, good. Number two, yeah. So the work I do, which I'm not going to get into, but it requires me to see like long lists of names, right? And basically, I see these names and I see these people's like information before I actually see them, right? So I have no prior contact with them, and then, you know, I'll look at these names. Like today, for example, there was this guy's name. Um, I'm not going to dox him because I don't want him to come and beat me up next time he has
His
to
name
come
is
around.
Randy Smooth.
Yeah, it's something like that. Like, you know, and you just look at this guy's name and you're like, I hope I'm wrong, but this guy just is giving me a bad vibe. And what do
Anybody
you?
named Randy Smooth, AJ just despises.
I mean, who names their child Randy Smooth? Like, you're just asking for that child to grow up and be a menace to society.
One of our 3 viewers is named Randy Smooth, and he just clicked off this video.
I'm so sorry,
Well, maybe
Randy.
he's a menace to society, though.
We're better off without him. Just cast him off the ship.
Anybody named Randy Smooth is no longer allowed in the S.A.M experience community.
Sorry, Randy.
So you see this name, AJ, right? You see Randy Smooth on the list. Then what's your next step?
So, like, first of all, I hope and pray he doesn't even show up.
Oh,
I hope
smokes.
I hope he just misses his time slot, and we don't have to even bother, right? But of
Yeah.
course, not that lucky. So our guy Randy walks in, and he starts just like launching insults at like the receptionist out of nowhere. Just like,
That's not a good look.
yeah, poor
Yeah.
yeah, she's just sitting there like doing her best. You know, she's a professional at what she does. She handles people like this for a living. But like, again, how are you just gonna like start attacking somebody you don't even know like that?
I mean, have you met Sam?
Uh,
Sorry. Oh, are you talking
Sam?
about how you constantly attack me even when you like hardly know me? Is that it?
What do you mean, Sam? Every day at the gym, you would come in and harass the workers at the counter.
Oh, pardon me. I don't recall this, man. Can you enlighten me on what occurred here?
One time you went into your car and pulled out one of the millions of water bottles and chucked one, or half drinking water bottle at
What?
one of the people when you walked in.
you
All
threw
right.
it at the employee
Yeah.
in a fit of rage.
Uncapped, too. Really, really went in there.
We're gonna pause
Got
my
it.
story here, Sam, because I want to hear this.
All
I
right,
want to
well,
hear your side.
the truth is, man, sometimes you just have to you have to take initiative, all right? If you want to get things done, you have to step up and you just have to do what you have to do.
Sometimes you just gotta chuck a water bottle at a gym employee named
And
Joe.
Sometimes, yeah, it's also true.
Oh, see, you left that part of the story out.
No, we didn't actually work out there when Joe started working there.
Oh, so it
If
wasn't.
we did, though,
wasn't
that
the,
would have occurred.
it wasn't
Yeah,
the Murph.
we would have definitely messed with Joe the whole time. I don't think we would have worked out. Anyways,
Yeah.
we got to go back to this story. Me and Sam got off topic.
Oh, my story.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Randy Smooth walks in.
Well, I mean,
I picture he's probably like 800 pounds.
yeah, he was a big guy. He had just like bald head. He had like intense sunburn.
Oh,
He was
yes.
he was
I can
looking
picture it.
like a wreck. Yeah, and like
Oakley sunglasses on.
if more or less.
Okay.
Yeah, he's that kind of guy. Then he gets into like he starts telling us how to do our jobs, okay? And like we're just like, all right, whatever, like fine, like all right, we're just gonna deal with it. Then what happens next is that I have to bring him to see my boss, okay? So we have to like bring him over to my boss to speak with my boss.
Yeah.
And there's a computer between my boss and the guy, Randy, okay?
Uh-huh.
Randy doesn't realize that the computer is on, okay, and transmitting to my boss. Randy walks over to where, you know, he needs to be, and he looks at the computer and he says, "You're telling me this clown isn't even here?" Just blurts that out in front of my boss.
Oh, so it's like a Skype call almost.
Yeah, yeah. Even though my
Oh,
boss is on the premises, he's just not in the room because of
yeah,
COVID.
yeah.
So they're doing like a little like closed circuit type
It's like
video
back in
feed,
prison.
something like that. Except less, less criminal, I guess. Anyway, so
Well,
yeah.
that's a little debatable.
Well, regardless, to kind of cap the story off, my boss heard this. Okay,
Uh-huh.
obviously that's a very bad precedent for the rest of their time together. And then as like they're wrapping up and Randy's getting ready to leave, what does Randy feel so inclined to do during the pandemic that everybody who is his
Oh,
type of person, dude?
he pulled his mask off.
Bro, he's got a theory about everything going on. He starts like telling everybody there his ideas
Oh,
about
oh
COVID.
no.
He's got it all figured out, man. And
Oh
we're
my
just we're
god.
just sitting there like, "Okay, sir. Gotcha, sir. Good stuff, sir. The door's that way, sir." And it's like, what why do you feel so empowered to like start sharing your opinion, your terrible opinions with people who don't care? Like, what did you think you were going to accomplish by doing this, man? I
So,
I do not understand these people. And he's not the only one who's done this at my place of employment, but it's like, yeah, some people have just had a switch flipped in their heads recently and they've just
well, they're just
acting
not
out.
getting enough likes on their Facebook post, so they got to tell everybody about it because they don't think anyone sees it.
It's wild out there, man. It's wild.
Yeah, it's the wild, wild west right now.
I'm glad you
But your
agree.
but your boss didn't like get like pretty irritated at the guy because
My
I know as soon
boss,
like if I get insulted at the very beginning of the meeting, which happens way too often, I'm very standoffish like the whole time.
my boss has a temper. I will admit to that.
Uh
But
huh.
today was other than Randy, the rest of the day was silky smooth and easy.
Randy Smooth.
So he had the capacity to just absorb that insult. You know what I mean? If
Yeah,
everything else in the day had gone not so smoothly, yeah, it would have got ugly, I think. So crisis averted, but yeah, that whole thing got me thinking about just like without even meeting this guy, I knew something was going to happen. And yeah, there you go. That's my day.
really, that's life. So you just get kind of screwed by work like all the time. Maybe the people at work and maybe like just work itself, but eventually you're gonna get screwed. And Randy Smooth, he kind of tried to screw you guys.
People just got, I guess, appearances to upkeep or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sam, you ever get screwed when you're at work?
Oh, all the time, all the time. The best thing, what you want to make sure is when you're getting screwed at work, so long as it's not your fault, and uh, people above you are aware of that, you'll be okay.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Like,
for example, right? I used to work at the airport,
yeah.
and everything, man. At first it was like once a month. Eventually, it got to the point where it was once a week, and eventually, every morning this plane was leaving. Right? We would have one plane at gate 2. So some of you might know just by saying when I say gate 2, every morning your flight was late taking off. This plane would be 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes late taking off every day at one point because they just didn't not want to spend money replacing this plane.
What?
And it was
Hold
never
up.
our fault. It was all first of all, it was always a different reason every day, right? Like one day it would be
Okay.
mechanical failure. One day it would be we were asked to load like 300 bags into a plane that can maybe hold 150.
Uh oh.
Stuff like that. It would always have a different reason, but that plane would never get out of there on time. But so long as the people above you know it's not your fault, dude, you're chilling, man. You're still getting paid.
Dang. That I actually never thought about it like that. So let me go back to the hangar number 2 or dock number 2 or whatever it was. So every day there would be a different issue with this plane.
So most of the time, I said a different issue, but in reality, most of the time it was out for maintenance because it was such an old plane, and we were switching contracts out, like the people in charge of that gate.
Uh-huh.
So like oftentimes the people who say fly the plane and the people who service the plane are not the same company.
Whoa, wait,
Or
what? Really? They're
yeah,
not like
well
owned by the same people?
it can depend. It depends on a lot of different things, right? But I didn't really explain that correctly. Usually the people who service the plane and people who fly the plane are the same company. But like
Mm.
uh I guess different flights will be like contracted out to different companies, right?
Makes sense. I mean, like Southwest,
Yeah, yeah. And
other
so our
airplanes.
area of the airport was contracted out to our company, and our company had lost that contract
Uh-oh.
forever. Right? Oh man, most of this stuff happened long before I got there, and that's a whole other story for another day. But our
So did you
company
work
lost
for
the
the
contract.
airport or did you work for like these other people?
I work for these other people, these contractors who were just
Okay.
making sure planes took off and landed safely, and did everything in between the takeoff and the landing,
Okay.
or the landing and the takeoff, I should say. And
And every
yeah,
day
so
they screwed it up.
the plane that was there, they just did not want to replace it, especially since we lost the contract. There was very little point to actually spend money resouping this plane back up, and so it would almost always have some kind of maintenance failure. But this plane was also like an actually important plane to take off. Like it would carry like medicine or would carry like military stuff. I don't know why it was taken off from like a civilian airport, but we're not gonna talk about that. Uh, yeah, so it was like an important plane, but they didn't want to replace any of the parts for it. So it would always be out for maintenance. In addition to, it would always have some kind of other problem too going on.
Yeah, like the bag boy was
Yeah,
hanging
like the
out in the
bag thing.
back.
Like we're asked to load 150 like military bags onto this plane, and any time we had a day like that, we already knew they could not all fit, and we were very talented at making things fit, but there's only so much you can do.
Loadmaster Sam.
Yeah,
AJ, you ever
Broken
get
back
screwed
Sam.
over at work?
I mean,
Besides Randy Smooth?
yeah, of course, man. Plenty of times. I mean, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of all different jobs I've done. Um, I it's a good question actually. I can't really think of one specific circumstance, but like I've definitely I guess let me piggyback on what Sam said about like being cool with your boss. Cuz if you're cool with your boss, then like even though stuff happens, you're probably fine as long as your boss knows you and knows it wasn't you. So like you could dodge a lot of the impact when
Mm-hmm.
something goes down. I've always taken that approach to jobs where I've always developed a good relationship with yeah, bosses. Um and
I've never been cool with a boss, like ever.
oof,
I think I
yeah.
have a problem with authority, actually.
Hey,
Oh
there's
no.
nothing wrong with that, man. That's many people say that's a degenerate trait, but
I mean,
I beg to differ.
maybe we're on the degen side. You guys play video games. I fight authority.
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness, Max.
we're really out here being degenerates.
How you gonna dox us like that?
I mean, Sam was probably playing video games up until he went to go work for the airport at 4 in the morning.
Oh, that was painful.
But was it
Don't
worth?
remind me.
But was it worth?
Honestly, it was a really fun job, man. It was the Wild West out there. I'll say working at the airport was great. Going to school at the same time, not so great.
Yeah, that's rough.
Would not recommend.
Yeah. We're gonna try not to talk about school this time because we did that the last 3 podcasts
True,
or the
true.
last 2.
Yeah, we hit it pretty hard. It's time
I
to
got a
discuss other
little
things.
Subway pizza story about how I got screwed over.
All right, make it happen.
So, back in the day, I worked at the Subway Pizza, baby. We're making pizzas like it's Subway. Um, the building basically just opened, right? It was like the opening weekend, and I hadn't learned about the pizza shuffle yet, which was the way we got free pizza from the store. And I think I can say this now because the store went under. Wait, maybe I probably shouldn't. But anyways,
Dude, it's fine.
so at the Subway Pizza, the first day that it was officially open, like we had a couple days of training, the first day it was officially opened, I opened the store. So I worked from 10 to like 3 o'clock or something like that. I came into the Subway Pizza pretty excited. We got tons of people, and of course we're like 3 people down. So I'm doing like all the jobs, and I can't figure out why. And eventually somebody is like, oh, we had to fire 2 people because they started stealing pizzas, right? I'm like, that's whatever. Like, okay, I'll just kind of try to pull this weight. Well, about, I don't know, maybe through 2 o'clock, like right before I was going to get off, my manager came up to me and was like, hey, could you stay an extra hour? We'll get you a pizza for free. And now, as a young college student, I was like, I'm gonna need this pizza. So I'm gonna definitely work an extra hour at the Subway Pizza, and it'll be fine, right? Well, then my manager left, and another manager came in. And the other manager, it was an hour, and I went to the manager and I said, hey, I was told I could leave after an hour, and I was gonna get a free pizza. And he was like, nah, you gotta stay. We only have one other person working. You gotta stay. And I was like, well, how long for? And he was like, I'll tell you when you can leave. And I was still like this naive boy that didn't realize that, like,
You could just leave.
once your shift's over, you can just clock out and
Just
there's
walk
nothing they
away.
can do about it. Right?
Yeah.
So I stayed from, I'm not lying to you. I opened at 10 o'clock. I stayed until 12 at night. No breaks, no food. And the best part was the manager made himself a pizza and then turned the pizza oven off while we were cleaning up.
Made you watch.
So
That is
nobody got
terrible.
any food, and we just had to watch him eat in the dining room we just cleaned.
He taught you a lesson that day, man.
And then I kind of put that like on my little like radar, like, hey, this guy like did this, and I like tracked the day or whatever. And then I kind of threw him under the bus like when I was leaving about the day. And then it turned out that like he had done that to like a whole bunch of the other employees, and he got fired like right after I left. And they called me and was like, hey, would you come back? Like, would you work again? And I was like, my days of making pizza at Subway are over. And I like hung up on the guy. And I thought like my story was over, like I would never see this guy again. But then I was in another part of the state, nowhere reasonably close to where the Subway Pizza was. And I'm at the famous location known as Rofo, right? I'm there trying to find AA batteries, and of course they don't sell AA batteries. And I'm leaving, and this guy who's just kind of like caked in grime and is in like a mechanic's uniform stops me at the door. I'm like, what's going on here? And he turns around, and it's the guy that I guess I kind of got fired. And he talks to me about how like God is good and he's really enjoying his life, and shakes my hand, and then I leave, and he gets into this old beat up car, and it like barely gets out of the parking lot. And I felt so bad for him because he had like a Lexus when he was working at the restaurant.
He might have done that to himself at that point, man.
Yeah.
But like I felt like really bad about it. Like maybe I shouldn't have thrown the dude under the bus.
Maybe he should
Nah.
have done something that got him thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
If look, all I'm saying is, if you're gonna step up into a leadership position, man, you have to lead. And if you don't lead, you get what you deserve.
Well,
But like it was
No.
just like Subway Pizza though. Like it wasn't that serious of a job.
but the thing is,
At the
Max,
same
is,
time,
yeah, once you're a manager, okay? Like I've never personally been a manager at like really anywhere. But you know, there's a fine line between like taking your responsibility seriously and doing your job and abusing your power.
yeah.
And this guy clearly overstepped his boundaries and screwed you over in the process.
Oh yeah,
And
this
I
dude.
get that some like Subway, right? He's probably not getting everything he needs to do his job properly. That's just how it is at those places. But at the same time, you still got to avoid abusing your employees.
Yeah. He used to like, he was a horn dog for sure. And he really wanted to be my father. Like, he thought I didn't have a father figure at home, which was really weird. Like, he would come and, like, yell at me in front of the employees, and then when I went back into the back, he would, like teach me about the Bible. And I just was really like, why am I here? Why do I work at Subway Pizza? There's no need for me to even be here. My car smells like mozzarella cheese all the time. My fingers smell like mozzarella cheese. And my heart feels like mozzarella cheese. That was my experience at Subway Pizza.
That's a fantastic story. I mean, yeah, it sucks in a lot of ways, but I mean, I get it too, dude. Like, how hard is it for like people to just not be weird at work like that too?
Oh, he was a horn dog, dude.
Oh, very difficult.
He was a top 10 level horn dog. He used to like kind of like not coerce, but he would like treat the women like extremely differently than he did the dudes.
Like
a creep.
like was he?
Not like how you're thinking. Like he wasn't a toucher. He was
Just like all right, good. He was just like hitting on them and like giving them preferential treatment.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's still weird, but at least it's not like could be much worse, you know.
So I had this theory, right? That was a really dumb theory that you can't trust a pizza maker that has a clean shirt, right? So I used to like purposely get like marinara sauce and like flour and like anything I could possibly get on my shirt and my hat, because you had to wear a hat all the time, which I never wore correctly. I would always wear it backwards because anytime you would walk into the like walk-in freezer, it would just fall off because like they had those little
those plastic strips.
The plastic strip boys.
Yeah.
And I would always just get my shirt just utterly filthy before the shift started so people could trust me. And if a girl got like a speck of like flour on their shirt, he would come out with an apron and make them wear it.
What a
and
maniac.
I'm standing there with like marinara sauce smeared across my face, a couple sun-dried tomatoes underneath my hat. I had like artichoke hearts like up and down my arm. And this girl was forced to wear like an apron all day because she got a speck of flour on her shirt.
You know, I like get that mentality too, dude. I 100% when I was working at the deli, I would I would end up like with stuff all over my shirt and just realize that like it actually made me look like I was busy even when I wasn't. No, I think I see where you're going with that.
It's definitely a strong mentality. Like
Yeah, you just take a little cup full of water, you toss it under your armpits, you're good.
I mean, I never quite went that far, but
Actually, speaking of sweating, Sam, I don't think I've ever seen you sweat.
it's because I've just naturally evolved to sweat less. You know,
He's
that's
built
what happens
different.
when you
He's
work
built
hard.
different.
Yeah.
But like we would run like 2 miles a day at the gym, and you just wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't actually know what's up with that, to be honest. Like, drink a lot of water and everything, or I did back then anyway, and I just don't sweat a lot. Although, when I have, you know, when I do sweat, it just takes a lot to get me there.
Like, listen to this, AJ, right? We're in the gym. Like, first time Sam's deadlifting, he's like matching my weight deadlifting. And I probably had what? At least 70 pounds on Sam at that point. Because I was a thick boy at that point. Maybe not 70 pounds. Sam, how much did you weigh when we first started working out?
When we first started, I was like 135, 140.
And I was like 220. So I had
definitely 70 pounds.
Yeah, so I had like 70 pounds on Sam, and Sam's literally just repping what I was repping, like no issue.
Amazing.
And he just never sweated, and I just think about like putting an extra weight on, and I'm just drenched in sweat. Like my new gym doesn't have any air conditioning.
So
and
you're just dripping when you walk in.
I'm dripping in the winter, and we don't have heat. So it's like,
it's a sweat box.
yeah, it's really hot in the summer, but in the actual like winter time, it's like super cold.
Oh, that sounds rough.
Yeah, it's like the tundra. Sam, did you get a new you working out in your new location?
No, 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 no. Gyms are expensive. Our gym was what, like $10 a month back in where we were from?
Yeah, you got the $10 a month thing,
Yeah.
and then I just got let you in if we went for 24 hours, because nobody cared.
Yeah, nobody cared because we're bros there, man. Everybody was bro.
Yeah,
Good vibes.
dude, I really wanted to work there. I wonder how, like, Joe says he hates it, but I always wanted to work there. I thought that would always be pretty dope. What was your guys' like favorite job? I know Sam, was yours the airport?
Ooh, possibly a mixture of either the airport or one of the factories I worked at. Pretty cool. I mean, the
You worked
box
at multiple
factory was
factories?
a ton of hard work. Yeah, I worked at multiple factories, dude. Hey, I worked at a box factory, dude, where you would just throw thousands of boxes a day, dude. It was harsh, brutal work.
Like
But
cardboard
everybody
boxes?
there, from like the boss to the lowest worker, man, everybody was cool. So it was fun. And
Like
then I worked at
cardboard
another
boxes?
factory where you just sorted stuff in the box if you barely had to lift anything heavy, and it was just chill the entire time.
So wait, pause. Is Were you just making cardboard boxes?
No, 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 no. So this was like the first job. We were just loading trucks, right? We were just tossing cardboard boxes with all sorts of things. You don't even know what's inside of that thing, man. We would just toss thousands of boxes a day, and saw a lot there. Let me tell you. If you guys have any conception that your boxes are going to be treated okay when they're being loaded into your truck, they actually do try. They definitely do try.
Were you
But
guys timed?
We weren't timed per se, but ideally we would want to each team. So we would divide up into teams, and each team would want to do like 3 trucks a shift if possible.
Okay, because I thought you were the big wig company that
Nah,
controls most of the world right now.
we were nothing like that. We were just a small local company,
the Megacorp.
and yeah,
Yeah.
no megacorp. If it was a megacorp, I guarantee you I would have hated it a lot more. But everybody were there was nice.
AJ just got named the chair of the Megacorp,
As if,
the
man.
all-powerful Zon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the topic of my job, so I worked at a couple different grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
The second one I worked at, my boss was this Irish guy, Tom. Me and him got along so well. Like, he was an older guy, but like he was like Sam. Once you find people that you work with who are just chill and like just you get
Yeah.
along with, it's just so much easier. There's just so much less friction. Like obviously, like the higher ups, like because I worked in the produce department and Tom was head of produce, so like we kind of just did our own thing. But like obviously the higher up store managers, there was always beef, and they were always like fighting with Tom. But like none of it ever came to me because like me and Tom were
Yeah.
cool. So I loved that job. That was just great. I got along with everybody there. Um, and the worst thing that I ever have to do was like unload trucks of vegetables and stuff.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that job was pretty chill. I'm not gonna lie. Grocery store work is a little underrated.
What was the weirdest thing you saw at the grocery store?
So this might put me, located because I think this guy's famous, right? There's a
Uh-oh.
local, yeah, there's a local around here, and a lot of this is hearsay.
A townie, as they would say?
Yeah, a lot of this is hearsay because I don't think anybody actually like knows too much about this guy. Anyway, he's like, this is true, by the way. There's a like 7'5" guy. All right, just imagine this huge giant man.
Mm-hmm.
His entire body is covered in tattoos and piercings. Okay, he just towers over every single person in this store. and he comes in wearing like full on cowboy outfit. Whenever he came in like daily. All right, he was like a regular. So,
I think I know who you're talking about.
like for real?
Like, did he play sports ball?
No.
Okay.
The story is that he was a stockbroker, and one day he just like snapped or something, or he literally like figured out that the work I do is bullshit and I hate my life.
Oh.
So he pulled out, took everything he had, like moved, and got his entire body like tattooed, got all these piercings and stuff, and would just like frequent the grocery store and like cook cool things and tell people about it.
Did he like live in a van outside of the
No.
grocery store?
No, he was like a well-off dude. He was just living his best life.
Huh.
But the thing is, like, he came in and everybody, like all the like other generic shoppers would just like give him a huge wide berth. They'd see him like stomping down. Okay, because this was a tiny grocery store. There wasn't like, I mean, it was like tight. Like the aisles were very narrow. Like there was not a lot of room to maneuver.
And that was it.
Yeah, like if that. We didn't even have like regular like full size carts. We had to have like micro carts.
Oh, you had the mini boys.
It was a tiny store I worked at. And this guy would like rumble down the aisles, and people would like see him and jet the other direction. He was a very misunderstood giant. Yeah, he was.
What? Why would they run away from him?
Because he, frankly, Max, he looked horrifying. He was head to toe completely covered in tattoos and all kinds of piercings.
Yeah, you basically just described everybody that lives in the state I live at.
So Max, you have to also. I'm gonna really dox myself here.
Yeah,
again,
you can't dox yourself, dude, because we're not gonna edit it in post.
Just okay. I'm speaking generally here.
Okay.
Where I live is very there's norms, okay? Right?
Uh-huh.
Everybody's they dress well, they're well put together.
Little boxes they live in.
Yeah, no.
All of them
Very suburban, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Extremely suburban. I'm just outside a major city. And there's not a lot of that goes on here. But this guy was the local legend.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, and like I got to talk to him a couple times, and he was just a nice guy. Like we talk about like cilantro and stuff.
Interesting.
So I guess that's not weird, but that's just something that was interesting, and like everybody knew this guy, but nobody knew anything about him. And then like my mom found out, like I talked to him, but she's like, "You got to tell me the details so I can tell all my friends." I was like, "Yeah, it's just a guy. It's like Tom or whatever. Like he's just living his life."
Just Tom from Apple Court Blossom Drive.
Whoa, are you trying to dox somebody here?
Nah, dude, I don't know anybody who lives on Apple Court Blossom Drive.
Anyway, speaking of doxing, our the time is showing me it's time to
time for a little ad read.
Yeah, take a little breather. Hit
All
the
right.
showers.
Well, let's take a little ad read today. We have a special ad.
Do we?
Yeah,
All
from Bobby himself. We'll run the ad right now. This week is brought to you by Bobby's Crawdad Seasoning. Did your crawdad commit suicide right in front of your eyes? If you said yes to that question, you can eat your sorrows away. Throw a little Bobby's on top of that bad boy, and you have a little crawdad feast waiting right for you. Welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed that little ad read. We got a big shout out to Bob. Bobby's really been coming through, sponsoring the pod, so you guys can keep on listening. He did have a request, though, which was kind of strange. He wanted to know about my intellect, and I had to explain to him about how dumb I was. I figured we can start by talking about that.
Your intellect?
Yeah, they... do you guys ever have, like, issues, like, your parents... Like, you'll ask your parents a question, like, when you were a kid. You would, like, approach your parents and ask, like, why is this? And then they would give you an answer, but it wasn't, like, true. It was just, like, something so you would stop asking, and it stuck with you for a really long time, and that's how you thought it was for, like, ever and a half.
Well, yeah, like, it was more convenient for them to just, like, give you some BS.
Yeah.
Some BS answer and just have you not bother with it, and then they probably forgot about it after they told you about it, but you latched onto that information and carried it with you.
Or like they make up a story for fun or something.
More like how AJ is. Like, they didn't make up a story for fun. I mean, I guess they kind of made up a story for fun with Christmas, but if we have younger viewers, I don't want to bring up the whole Christmas thing.
Max, this pod is already PG-13, man.
Oh, good point.
There's been cussing.
So Sam, I want to paint a picture for you. I'm not very intelligent. I thought Santa Claus was real until I was like 11.
What's wrong with that?
Oh.
Well, like most kids like know by like 7 or 8, like they stay up long enough to witness the placing of the Christmas presents under the tree, or the stockings or whatnot.
Let me
But
ask
I
you
was
this. Let me ask you
What's
this. What shattered the illusion for you? Do you remember?
Oh, my parents just told me like at a campfire when I was like 11 or something.
That might be the best way to do it.
And I was just like, whoa, really? And it didn't really mess me up, actually. But that's not why I brought up why I'm so dumb. So, back in the day, right? I must have been like 4 or 5 or 6. Maybe even a little older than that. I was watching...
Young Max.
Yeah, really young Max. Like, maybe first or second grade. I was watching an analog clock, and I noticed that... Or not analog, digital clock. I noticed that at 59, it didn't go from 59 minutes to 60 minutes to an hour. It went from 59 straight to an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no 60. It just turns over.
It just turns over.
The new hour starts.
Yeah, the new hour starts. But I was a young, naive lad, and I went down to my dad, who was watching TV at the time, and I asked him why there wasn't a 60. And he was just like, oh, at 59, there's 2 minutes, but they don't show you. So it does 60, and then it transitions into the next hour. Right? And I had that information in my head for, maybe late middle school. And
So,
now...
You
What I do
believed-
for a living requires an advanced degree, and it makes me wonder how I even got it, that I thought that there was 61 minutes in an hour for the longest time.
So you were under the impression that at like 9:59,
There was 2 minutes
It
until
was
it switched into 10 o'clock.
9:59 was 2 minutes long.
Yeah. That's how dumb I was.
No, I don't think you're dumb. That's what happens. That absolutely happens to many people, dude. You just get these like little snippets of information that like an adult, not necessarily your parents, but mostly your parents, but you'll get these little snippets of information and you'll just you'll hold on to them as truth because you don't know any better.
Do you guys have any of these?
I'm trying
Or
to
I'd like to...
Well, no. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I don't think I have anything, but I know what you're talking about, like generally.
Like you gotta rinse all the dishes before you put them in the dishwasher?
Something like that. Like, I'm trying to think back if there was any kind of illusion I had shattered about something.
Because I know Sam's gonna say he doesn't have any because Sam's a genius.
I mean, true, I am a genius, but actually, now that I think about it, there is one thing that I remember. So, for some reason, my parents told me we actually did not use a dishwasher in our house. We still don't actually use a dishwasher. We have like a perfectly fine functioning dishwasher, and we just never used it. I'm trying to figure out, like, and you know, as a kid, I'm like, why don't we use a dishwasher instead of manually washing our dishes? My mom's like, oh, because the dishwasher uses more water than manually washing them. Now, spoiler alert, it doesn't.
Yeah, definitely not.
But
Like, I guess maybe back in the day, yeah, but not now.
also, yeah, maybe back in the day is what it was. But yeah, that's so. for
Did
the
you ever
longest
show her
time, I
that?
just believe that. What's that?
Did you ever show her that so you can, like, use the
Oh
dishwasher?
no, she knows that now. It's just attached to washing them manually, I guess. And also, if you wash them manually, it means that everyone, Well, I guess it depends on the kind of house you live in, but it means that you wash out your dishes that you're using them half the time, so like, it's less to wash.
It's a good habit.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I wish.
It means everyone takes care of their own stuff.
I wish. I almost brought up school again.
Yeah, we gotta.
Oh, no.
Nah,
Yeah,
we gotta have like
we
a
gotta slow the
button.
roll.
Yeah, no, you caught yourself though. That's good.
I caught myself.
You're
No university
self-monitoring.
talk today.
Nah. What was I gonna say? I think I had a story about dishwashers. I don't know why.
Did you get stuck in the dishwasher step, bro?
No. Nah, man. Oh, I do have a. I don't know why this memory came up, but okay. So I have a younger nephew. Okay. And this must have been maybe 10 years ago. So I was around maybe my teens, my mid-teens, maybe upper teens. Okay. And my younger
10
nephew.
years ago, I was a child.
What's that?
10 years ago, I was like a baby.
Exactly. But my nephew's 10 years younger than that, too. So he was like maybe 6, right?
Holy
Maybe
smokes,
less than
okay.
that. And I remember he came over to my house. And I don't know, we were just messing around. And what we were going to do was we were going to play some video games.
Uh-huh. Just
And-
start them on the bad path, I see.
No, dude, no. Whatever we were playing, I can't remember. And I still feel bad about this to this day because I'm pretty sure like he noticed and probably holds it against me. I gave him a controller that wasn't plugged in.
Oh, AJ.
This is completely true now. And like he's like real into like gaming these days. He's like a big like Minecraft kid. Wholesome, not like in a weird way,
Yeah.
He's like into computer programming, stuff like that. Like
So
generally
he's like 1% of gamers.
all right, well. We need to stop slandering gamers, Max. Capital G gamers.
Dude, we don't trust gamers.
But I wonder, but like that's like I felt because that's being on the other side, You probably messed up this kid without realizing it. He probably went home thinking like, oh man, Uncle AJ sucks. He's
what if
such
he just
a
like?
dirtbag.
What if he just was like, oh, Uncle AJ's so much better at video games than me?
I mean, it's 50-50. That's probably what it came down to. He probably didn't realize what was going on.
Did you ever talk to him about it?
No, I don't see him that often, to be honest. So
I
like,
guess in like the current situation, you wouldn't see him often anyway.
and again, this was like 10 years ago too. Probably more actually, now that I think about it. But I still think about this whenever like he gets brought up or like that side of my family gets brought up. I'm like, oh no.
It's just like you get washed over with shame.
So much shame, dude. Because again, if I was in his position and like I realized that, I would have been so upset. I would have been furious, man.
AJ, I gotta bring you up. Like, I've been on that end all the time as a child.
That's what I'm saying. It sucks.
I was never smart enough to realize that the controller wasn't plugged in.
Oh no.
I thought that there was 61 minutes in an hour.
You were blissfully unaware.
Blissfully unaware.
Max, sometimes that's a good strategy to get through stuff in life.
Yeah, sometimes ignorance really is bliss.
Yeah, but then as I got older and I realized I couldn't live like that, and now I'm stressed out all the time
You know what's
because I just notice everything.
screwed up? There are
What?
like people our age and older and probably that live their whole lives just like that. They just ignorantly and blissfully glide through life. Not a
Dude,
care in the
I'm
world.
really trying to hold back talking about school because my first semester living on campus, I lived with the caveman, and that was him.
I mean, we could talk about the caveman. We just won't have to talk about school itself. You talk about the person. I mean,
No, I
keep
think
it short. Keep it short if you want to.
No, I think if we're going to talk about the caveman, we got to go fully into it. So I think that's what we're going to start with next time.
We'll save that.
Yeah, we'll save caveman for
Let me
next
ask you a
time.
question, Max. Let me ask you a question. Did we get a postcard this week?
We did get a postcard this week, but I think it may dox our location.
So skip.
I mean, we can read the postcard. Sam, you want to read the postcard?
Sure.
So, like, I'm gonna read it and then we'll answer it because I don't. Do you want me to send it to you, Sam?
You can go ahead and read it if you want.
Okay, this was from. It actually came in yesterday. It's from Beans Smith in Seattle, Washington.
You, what's the guy's
Now,
name?
Bean Smith. That's his 100%. He sent me his ID. I guess I can't
Oh,
really show that.
yeah.
But from Seattle, Washington. By the way, cool driver's license in Seattle, Washington.
Beans.
He says, I'm big into good eats. What is the best restaurant you've ever eaten at?
All right.
I mean,
That's
thanks, Beans.
a powerful question.
Wasn't Beans the guy's name from Even Steven?
I never saw that show.
You
Same,
never
same.
seen Shia LaBeouf and
Like,
Even Steven?
yeah, I probably saw it like in passing, but I never sat down and like realized and like watched an episode. Probably.
Oh, Sam, you got to get him.
You got to get me. I don't think Sam watched it either.
I haven't seen it either.
Are you guys serious?
100%.
Yeah, consider you might be the odd one out for having watched it.
You guys never seen the actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf in one of his most iconic roles?
No.
There's two roles Shia LaBeouf should be known for, and it's Even Steven and the Just Do It guy.
Wasn't he in Holes?
Oh, he was in Holes,
Was he?
too. Oh, man, that's a good movie.
Definitely saw that movie.
Okay, maybe there's three. All right, we got to get off Beans from Even Stevens, and we got to get back to this postcard question. Thanks, Bean Smith. We really appreciate your
Thank you,
feedback.
Beans. Thank you, Beans.
Thank you, Beans.
Okay, so what do you guys got? Restaurants. Best restaurants you've ever eaten at.
So, like, am I going first? Are you going first?
Wait, maybe we should not dox ourselves and not do best restaurants. What if we do like best like chain restaurants? This way we can. Nah, chain restaurants kind of suck.
Yeah, they kind of suck, dude. You just had a whole bit earlier about how
Oh.
terrible Subway pizza was.
To an
Well, Subway
extent.
Pizza was just a horrible, horrible restaurant.
So there's one
Richie.
chain restaurant that I think most people could get behind.
Uh
You should already know this, actually.
oh.
We used to eat there all the time, man.
5 days a week, baby.
It's the Bell, right?
No, not the Bell, actually.
Oh, not 5 days a week.
No, I already know the big hint. But how do you feel about hash browns, man?
Me?
Oh, baby, I
You'd-
know this one, the
you-
Waffle House.
The Waffle House.
The favorite of Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Anthony Bourdain really liked the Waffle House?
I gotta send you that video, man. He has this one video where he's like sloshed, and he goes there with some comedian, and the comedian guy's like, cause he's like explaining like how you order food like sloshed at a Waffle House and like what you do, and like how
Uh-huh.
cause, you know they got their menu and it's like you got chopped, you got like smothered,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I'll send you that later.
Actually, one of our buddies used to work at the Waffle House, and he explained it to me the last time I went there, which was a couple days ago.
Sam, you're a big fan?
I'm a huge fan, actually. It's just top-notch taste, especially for the price, man.
Sam, what's your favorite item at the Waffle House?
Oh, the hash browns. The
Hash
Chilean
browns?
hash browns.
Dude, chili and hash browns is the play. Do you get
Oh
cheese
my
too?
god.
Always, but so long as you have the chili and the hash browns, you can like mix and match the toppings in whatever way you want, and it will
Yeah.
always turn out good.
Let me
I'm
tell you
actually getting just waffles every time I go there. Not just one waffle, like 3 or 4
Oh,
waffles.
of course, you can't stop with one waffle.
Which this blows my mind about the Waffle House, right? You can go to the Waffle House and order the same thing every time, and you will have a different price for it every time. I remember getting triple hash browns covered and topped, I think it was, with cheese and chili. And like some days it would be like $9, some days it would be like 2. And you're like, where are you getting these numbers from, Waffle House? Like, I know like you're probably shooting up in the bathroom or whatever, but like where are these numbers coming from?
I can't say I've quite had that experience, man, but that's it's also the mark of like a really strong Waffle House if that's your experience. And because as you know, dude, the seedier looking the Waffle House, like the taste is kind of proportional to that.
Yeah.
So if the price is changing every time, that's a seedy Waffle House right there. But that taste must have been out of hand.
I have a couple stories about the Waffle House that we went to every time we had a party in near our home area, our
Did you-
base of operations.
Do you know that one time that we went
Uh-huh.
when I was around was the first time I'd ever been to one? I don't know if you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
You were there? That was
I
the
think.
first time I ever been to one.
Was that the one where we went in the snowstorm?
Yeah, probably.
And then we were all hyper life drifting around the corners and stuff to
Hey,
get to
man.
this Waffle House.
Hey, man, we made it there and back. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, that Waffle House, last time I went to that one with my friends, a cockroach ran across the counter.
Oh no.
It was awesome. Actually, apparently, our buddy that works at the Waffle House told me that a majority of the fight videos happen at that Waffle House.
World Star?
Yeah, the World Star fight videos happen at that Waffle House. I actually got a decent story about throwing up in a Waffle House parking lot.
Who threw up? You?
I did, yeah.
Were you
It
sick?
was, no, well, kind of. I gave myself food poisoning
On purpose?
working at the Subway Pizza.
Man,
We've
all
gone full
all
circle.
roads lead back to the Subway pizza.
We had this little thing. It was I called it the pizza shuffle. It was like you make a pizza and you send it down the line and then nobody claims it, so then everybody just eats it in the back. And somebody put like uncooked chicken on the pizza that I sent down the line, and nobody took it. And when I ate it, I felt fine when I ate it, and then I drove up to the university to hang out with my buddies. We went to an escape room, which I learned I hate escape rooms. And then afterwards, they were like, hey, let's go to the state over and we'll go to the Waffle House. So we went to the state over and I wasn't feeling too good. And then I left the Waffle House and I threw up next to the shed that was in the Waffle House parking lot. And I felt so bad because I bought a fresh pair of pants for this trip and I just destroyed them.
Oh.
It was rough.
You know, I actually had food poisoning recently as well,
Uh-huh.
and it just hits you out of nowhere. 1 minute
I
you're
just
fine.
don't understand how it works.
1 minute you're fine, and then you move wrong or you sit down, and then all of a sudden you're sweating, and you're like,
Yep.
oh no,
And it's
Here it
over
comes.
for you.
Here it comes.
Speaking of food poisoning, Sam, did you ever get food poisoning from the Waffle House?
From the Waffle House? I don't think so, actually. I lucked out there.
Do
Listen,
you ever
man,
get waffles? When
they
you go to
cook the
Waffle
food
House?
right in front of you, Max. So you know if it's cooked or not.
I guess you're right. From what I know, is the waffle batter is made in like literal tubs.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of food at those kind of places are made in tubs, unfortunately.
Okay, so we know Sam. Sam's got that beautiful Waffle House. Is that your favorite restaurant? Period.
No, it's just chain, right?
Yeah, we still doing chain, or are we gonna do real restaurants?
Real restaurants is kind of hard.
It's hard
You
to
have a
pick
lot of
one.
choices when it comes to that one.
I think my favorite restaurant was a restaurant that recently went under. It was a small Italian restaurant that
Ooh.
Oh,
converted
really?
into a Thai place. I think it is now. And it was
Yeah.
My favorite busboy used to work sometimes, and I used to harass him while I paid $80 for my fresh steak.
Harassing low-paid workers, dude, is rough. That's what I'd expect from Max, though.
Sam, I got a question for you, because I know what
Alright.
Max is talking about, and it's related to this. Say somebody orders an $80 steak at that restaurant, your specific restaurant, because I'm assuming Max is talking about you and at that restaurant. Yeah. Okay.
I'm talking about Sam.
Is it actually an $80 cut of meat?
I can tell you. Are you saying it's really worth $80?
Yeah, because I mean, some places you go, and you're getting what you pay for in a good cut of meat, and some places you're like, okay, this is like the dog's breakfast, but they're upcharging it for whatever reason.
Alright. I could tell you, they were very protective of the steaks that we had in the bag. So
what
I
does that
never got to
mean?
sample one of them myself, or not one of the high tier cuts. I got to sample like one of the $20 cuts, right?
Sure.
No, no big deal there. There were some incidents in the past where the steaks were threatened, and the response to that was something else, man.
Can we rewind here, Sam?
Oh yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean protected? Were they in a safe?
No, they were actually, well, not at first anyway. I mean, I think they did end up behind the lock at one point, but not they weren't like that kind of protected. But you didn't mess with the stakes. That's just what it was.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
It's like, was there a reason why you didn't mess with the steaks? Was it just because it was like a high profit, or was it just
Oh,
because like,
it was a high profit item, and at one point we had somebody who did mess with the stakes, and he didn't last too long after that.
uh-oh. Did he lose a finger from the mob?
So we, Italian in a restaurant, right? Very Italian,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a cook who was selling steaks out the back of the restaurant for not selling, more like trading them for pills, right?
Typical. Yeah.
And the deals would occur out the back of like at the restaurant, just around back. The cars would drive around back, and steaks would go out, and pills would come in.
There was a parking lot back there?
It would not. There was like a couple parking spaces.
It was just like a fire lane or something.
Yeah. That's really all it
It was
was.
the alley.
Dude, nothing like trading pills for steaks in the alley behind the, I'm not going to say the name.
So presumably, if these steaks were going for pills, they were probably $80 cuts of steak, right?
There you go.
Well, I don't think necessarily. Maybe they're like $20 or $30 cuts.
Could
I guess
be.
it depends on how many pills he's getting and what kind of pills.
Yeah.
But
It's all over Sam's head. He's not allowed
I
to discuss it.
I assume he went back to the fast food circuit after that.
He was found in the river actually.
And next topic.
All right. What's up next, Max? You got
Oh,
that?
so- I guess we can continue with the restaurant. I don't know if we could talk about the river scenario.
Yeah,
We're gonna end up in the river.
The river scenario?
Yeah, like we probably shouldn't talk about how the guy stole steaks and ended up in the river because maybe we'll end up in the river.
Yeah, let's just leave that where it is.
I'm sure there were two just unrelated,
No, there's.
And-
You
I'm
can't.
sure it had nothing to do with the restaurant.
And the rivers around here aren't very clean, AJ.
Well, what you say is you just kind of leave that to the professionals who will figure
Yeah.
that kind of thing out.
Of course.
If there's a connection, we had no way of knowing.
I think we covered our bases there.
Moving right along.
I think my favorite like chain restaurant is Mission Barbecue.
Yeah,
I really like Mission Barbecue.
I've heard of it. I haven't been.
It's pretty like I think it's kind of top tier. I mean, we had one really good barbecue place near us, and me and Sam visited it like a couple times. I think maybe you visited it
Was that
with
the
us too, AJ.
was that the
What's
pig
up?
the pig themed one?
Yeah, the pig themed one.
Yeah, I
That
went
shut
there once.
down.
I know. I was there right before it closed too. They said they were closing, or maybe
Yeah,
maybe
That's
one of you
pretty
guys
sad.
told me.
The
Yeah,
quality went really down towards the end. It was really sad.
yeah. It was definitely on its last legs when I visited. I was also like severely hungover, and I wish I could have appreciated the food more. But that's neither.
If it
here
was
nor
towards
there.
the end, you probably wouldn't have appreciated the food.
Yeah.
Because when I've
Even
like,
at its height, it was like never the best, but you got a lot of like decent quality food.
yeah, I agree. Well, like because at its best, like the area was like super underdeveloped. You know what I'm saying? So like there wasn't like really a lot of different options. I used to eat there like as a kid all the time. You used to like whenever you got like a kid's meal, they would serve it on a frisbee, and then you could clean the frisbee off and you would have a frisbee.
Awesome.
It had like the company's name on it and whatnot. It was actually kind of cool.
That's such a good deal.
Yeah. It's now a different barbecue place that has a Mission Barbecue like a quarter of a mile away from it.
Competition.
But for real restaurants, there's like a really good pizza place near me that I really like.
That's key.
What- All right, AJ, what's your fast food and best restaurant?
I'll just combine. Well, it's not fast food. I mean, probably just best restaurant. There's this. It's not a chain. It's like a small franchise. They've got like a couple local locations.
Uh huh.
Up where I am, it's what's it called? It's Cajun slash Mexican themed, and
Whoa.
it's so good, and it's been around for so long. Like some of my earliest childhood memories, no joke, are at this place. Like we have been going to this place consistently for like my entire lifetime, my whole family. That's just how good it is, and it's cheap, and the food they give you is like prime quality every time,
Uh
and
huh.
you get so much for what you pay. It is just the bomb. Next time, if you guys are ever around here, I will take you.
Dude, Sam, you missed out on that trip.
I
God, I
did.
wish I could have flew you out to go see AJ when he was like living with our friend. Oh my God, that was a wild trip.
With LP, yeah.
Yeah, with LP, the big
Hmm.
homie. We love
Um,
LP. She's the best.
she is the best.
Dude,
See,
she's like, she always sends me cookies on Christmas, which is wild.
I'm seeing her tomorrow.
She
You want
sent
me
you
to say
cookies
hi?
on Christmas?
Oh yeah,
Oh
definitely say
no.
hi.
Oh, that
Wait,
hit me
Sam, you
hard.
got cookies when I got cookies last time.
I didn't get cookies this Christmas.
I didn't get cookies this Christmas.
Oh, okay.
because-
All right. Just making sure, dude.
But I don't really care that much about Christmas, so it didn't
I,
really matter.
I don't care. I mean, I care about the cookies. So
Ever since I was 10 and I realized Santa wasn't real, I
Christmas
stopped
is
caring about
fake
Christmas.
news.
Christmas is fake news.
So, it's interesting that you say that because the way I see it is that Christmas, Christmas like used to be like probably when you're young it's like kind of magical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just feel like that. You get caught up in like the whole spirit of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're older, you sort of come to the realization that that's all artificial, and the only way it means something is if you decide to participate in it.
Yeah.
yeah.
This might be like a kind of a controversial take, but you know, I love the aspect of like seeing your family. Like that's great. And
Mhm.
especially cuz it's in the dead of winter, and like the timing is good too because everyone's down bad in late December when it's freezing
Oh yeah.
and snowing. So I get kind of why there's like this big push to get everybody out of their seasonal depression hole that they're in. Um, so for that reason, I get it. And again, seeing your family and having good food, like that's the best right there. That's what I'm all about.
Agreed.
But yeah, as for the actual like holiday and the whole like culture of like being super pressured to find like the perfect gifts and all that, that sucks.
That's why Thanksgiving's like the better
Yeah.
holiday.
Max, that is a great take.
I'm a Thanksgiving guy.
Because it's everything that Christmas is without the BS, like, like forced, like, you have to find a gift, otherwise you're going to be, like, a dick.
Do you know who's a really good gift giver?
Is it LP?
No. Well, she's a great gift giver. But Sam. Sam gave me some of the freaking coolest gifts ever.
Oh, yeah?
Think so?
Yeah, we used to have like a little Christmas exchange when we worked out with each other.
We did.
You guys
And,
swapped.
Yeah, he got me my signature Magikarp tank top.
I've seen it
Right,
around. I've seen it
Yeah.
around.
He's bought me like 8 different versions of it because I've gotten bigger
I
and
know.
smaller. Like I have like 4 of them in my closet. Like
This
one is like a
fluctuating body
small that I
size,
don't
man.
fit into anymore.
That's how it be.
He like got me a really cool pigeon shirt that has like a whole bunch of pigeons like that represents like a rap album. If I can find a picture of it, I'll throw it up right now. God, Sam was a good gift giver. I bought him a bow and arrow one year.
Oh.
Oh,
I don't know
my
why I bought him a
goodness.
bow and arrow, but I bought him a bow and arrow.
It was
That-
pretty sick, but it was an interesting one.
It wasn't very expensive, so I didn't think it was gonna last very long.
It I mean, it was a bow and arrow.
What else? I don't remember what else I got you. I remember getting you the bow and arrow.
Yeah, I want to say you got me like a water bottle too, right?
I think I may have gotten you a water bottle. You got me Japanese socks. I still have those socks.
Yeah, they good socks.
Yeah, they're good socks. They're great socks.
Um,
AJ, what's the best like present you've gotten?
So that I've received or that I've given? Because I got a funny story about a gift
Either
I
or.
gave to somebody. Um,
Hit us.
yeah. So my man, one of my guys from college, right?
Uh huh.
He was a good friend of mine,
Was he
and
from the fraternity?
yeah, he ended up joining at some point, but I knew him before that.
Uh huh.
Anyway, I think this was around probably sophomore, junior year. We're not even supposed to be talking about school, so we're just gonna get past that. He had to get surgery for his jaw. He had like a jaw issue, and like he had to get his whole jaw wired shut. So he lost a ton of weight because he couldn't eat anything for like a month. He only could take
Oh,
in liquids. He was down bad.
dude, that's killer.
So this story does take a bit of a dark turn. I smoked the devil's lettuce, Max.
The electric lettuce,
Yeah, with another friend of mine, and we had the incredible idea.
the wacky tobacco.
Yeah, we had a great idea to go buy our friend who was suffering a cheer me up gift, like to make him feel better.
Yeah.
We were like, he's down bad. He's stuck at home. His mom has to feed him with a giant syringe every day.
Oh no.
It was okay. Oh, I hope he doesn't listen to this because he hates this story. But anyway, so we hit the electric lettuce. What'd you call it?
the Satan salad.
Satan salad, dude. And we just went to the mall and went to like a novelty shop searching for a gift. And we're not in a great state of
Did
mind.
this novelty shop start with S?
No. It might have actually. I know what you're talking about, but we didn't get anything in that category. We got him
Okay.
Toilet Tunes, which is like this little.
Pardon me.
God.
It's this little keyboard you roll at on the ground when you're
Uh-huh.
taking a dump, and you can play it with your feet.
Dude, that's so sick.
What's
Oh,
up?
God.
No.
God.
All right. So no, and I mean, so we decided that would be the gift we'd get him. So anyway, we eventually, there was a couple of us. We all pitched in. It was only like $20,
Uh-huh.
and we traveled off to his house to go see him.
Okay.
We get to the door, and his mom answers it because he's like laying on the couch, incapacitated. And we walk over into like the basement, I guess, where he was staying.
Oh.
And we hadn't seen him up until this point. He was recovering. And he's just in a terrible state of affairs, dude. He lost a bunch of weight. His whole face was swollen, like almost beyond recognition. And we all just busted out laughing. We couldn't contain ourselves.
Jesus,
we were
AJ.
stoned, dude, and we're just sitting there like laughing. And he's like, "Hey guys,"
And then you gave him toilet tunes?
and we gave him the Toilet Tunes. We had to leave soon too because we couldn't contain ourselves. It was too hilarious. His mom came over with the giant needle, and we're like, "Okay, we're gonna feed him now."
Oh, my God.
And we were like, "This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life." Yeah.
AJ, you probably just destroyed this man's whole career.
I'm gonna be honest. I was not the hero of that story, Max. I was not the hero. We were not the heroes.
It's a pretty great story, though.
But I do think the Toilet Tunes were good for the morale. His morale. He definitely bounced back after that.
I was gifted toilet miniature golf that I was never allowed to set up.
You weren't it was just too annoying to set up.
No, it's just like banned. My mom was just like, "You're not setting that up."
Such bullshit. We don't need it.
I have a surgery story that may be interesting to talk about here.
Is it did you get your jaw wired shut for a month?
No, I had a cyst, on the
Cyst.
side of my neck that they
Cyst.
weren't
Yeah.
really sure. Like when if I first started developing it, it wasn't big, but it got so big over the years. Everybody kept on pointing it out to me. Like I didn't realize that this massive Anne Boleyn-like cyst is on the side of my neck. And I went to my doctor. I went through this whole rigmarole because my doctor is the worst.
It's good vocabulary.
Great guy, but he's the worst doctor. And eventually got a meeting with a surgeon to get it done. Right? So the morning, the day before the surgery, It was a Friday procedure. I was in and out that Friday. The day before the surgery, they call you and tell you what time you're supposed to show up. The lady called and was like, hey, you got to be here at 5 o'clock sharp. And this was before I was waking up at like 4 o'clock in the morning every day. So it was a rough start. My mom drives me over there. I walk into this just massive new medical building that they built near my house. Walk into the surgery center, get all checked in, whatnot. And I'm like, cool, they're just going to take me back into a room. They're going to put some gas in me, and I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to wake up, and this bad boy's going to be gone. Right? That is not how it goes. So, by the way, this just looks like a normal like office building. It doesn't even look like a surgery center.
A lot of places do.
Which is kind of creeping me out. Like, I expect it to look more like an actual medical building, right? So, the lady comes back, a nurse comes back and gets me from the waiting room. And by the way, this is during the Rona-virus. So, there's only like 4 seats open in this massive waiting room. So I'm just awkwardly sitting there in the middle, like watching HDTV at 5 o'clock in the morning, just waiting for the surgeon to come in to get me, right? This nurse comes in to get me and brings me back, and I'm like, I immediately look at her, and I know it's going to be an issue because she is very attractive, right?
Oh, no, Max.
So I'm already nervous. And I'm like, oh, God, this is bad.
Hot nurse.
This is bad. So the hot nurse takes me into the back, right? And all of a sudden, it becomes like almost a warehouse. And I'm like, they're going to take my kidneys in here. Like, why am I doing this? My heart rate's going freaking bonkers, right? There are these little stalls. I don't even think they call them stalls. They're just like, not even brick walls. They're just like fake cubicle-like walls that separate each of the beds that are going into surgery. It's like the intake room. Mm. And they bring me in, and the lady goes, okay, you're going to need to get completely naked and put this gown on. And I'm like, completely naked? And she's like, yep, you got to get completely naked. Go for it. And then she closes the blind. And now, of course, I am 100% nervous. So I get completely naked, put the gown on, I lay down. And I'm like, I'm completely naked in front of this very attractive lady. Right? The lady comes in. After I'm like laying down in the bed or whatever, we're talking, and she's looking at my heart rate and whatnot, and she says, oh, you're a little nervous. And I'm like, yeah, definitely really nervous. Just little jitters, I say. And she was like, do you need to use the bathroom or anything? And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I didn't drink any water, I'm fine. So she leaves, and I'm staring right at the bathroom, because it's like just kind of how it's set up. And I realize as soon as I say I don't have to use the bathroom, I gotta poop. So I'm already not doing the surgery thing very well. The anesthesiologist comes by and was like, whoa, bro, you got really big tonsils. And I'm like, thank you?
Appreciate the compliment, my man.
Like, I don't know really if that's a compliment or not, but I really appreciate it.
It'd be a shame if something happened to them.
They put an IV in me. And they're like, your surgery is probably going to start in like a half an hour. Sit tight. We'll see you later. So I have this IV in me that I think is the stuff to put me asleep. And I'm like, wow, I'm really this big wig. I'm like this big tough guy. They've been injecting me with this liquid for an hour. And I haven't fallen asleep. Eventually my surgeon comes and gets me. And they bring me into what I believe is just a garage that is air conditioned, because it feels really sketchy. And they put me on this bed, and they're like, okay, we're going to feed you the drugs now. By the way, this whole time I got to poop. Right? So I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to poop myself during this surgery. It is over. It is 100% over.
It's coming out.
Right? So, and then I get on the bed, and I'm like, wait, you guys are injecting me with the drugs? I thought I've already had the drugs. And they're like, no, this is the IV to make sure you're hydrated.
It's just saline.
And then all of a sudden, I'm knocked out.
Yep.
I wake up and I'm talking to a guy about football. And I've never watched football like ever. And I'm like, where am I? I'm in a completely different part of the hospital. Right? And I'm sitting there just talking to just some random dude about football. And I'm like, how did I even get here? So I'm talking to this guy. I'm high as a kite. I've never been really high before because I'm sober.
Stony
And
baloney.
this medicine has got me off something. And I'm like, dude, I'm tripping off these dominoes. And I had a full conversation with this guy. And it dawned on me as I'm leaving. They give me my glasses. And I'm like, I definitely pooped myself during that surgery because I don't got to go anymore.
Oh no.
So what do you guys think? Do you think that I pooped myself during the surgery? Or do you think that it was just nerves?
Well,
I'm sorry to tell you.
I have a theory as well.
Do you guys really think I pooped myself during the surgery?
Almost definitely, especially because like you got knocked out, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that do like more than knock you out? Just like really relaxes you.
Oh, his colon relaxed and
Oh, no.
just slipped out.
Oh,
Might have been
no.
it.
So, Max, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm no doctor, but I am
Uh-huh.
adjacent to many doctors. Anesthetics and painkillers make you extremely constipated. So you probably did not, and your body probably figured out there's no way I could shit now because I've been blocked up by all these meds.
I've been drugged.
Yeah. So not to take the wind out of your sails there. I mean, if you believe you shit your pants, then
Oh,
hey.
I would prefer not to think that I pooped myself.
But
Because
then,
that would be just humiliating. Especially since I thought I was like this big tough guy who was handling all these drugs and I didn't get extremely nervous in front of the hot nurse. And
Hey, listen, maybe you were under the influence of being, sedated, and you wandered into the bathroom, took a dump, and then came back and started talking to the guy.
oh, no way I got out of that bed, AJ.
No way, it was too comfy.
Oh, when I stood up from like once they told me I could put my clothes back on, they gave me my clothes. I almost fell over like 3 or 4 times.
It happens.
That was like the same way when I got my wisdom teeth removed. I almost fell over like 4 or 5 times.
Drugs be hitting, man.
Oh, dude, it's wild. I don't understand how you guys do it.
Do what? Drugs?
Do drugs.
Nah, it's tough stuff. You gotta be a certain kind of person to do it. And you
Yeah,
build.
Sam's been drinking lean recently.
What's that?
Sam's been drinking lean recently.
nah.
That's a firm accusation there, Max.
We all know Sam's got the double cup with the Jolly Ranchers at the bottom and the ice.
I gotta keep it clean, man.
Whoa.
Gotta keep my mind straight.
Whoa, you're just going straight cough?
I mean, I don't
Straight
quite know.
NyQuil PM?
I am trying to sleep.
Oh, man. What a wild ride.
Do you?
Have you guys ever had any surgeries?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
No. All right. So, 2 things. One, we're running up on the end here, so I'll tell the
Okay.
story real quick, and then we'll
Then
see
we
what
gotta do what we
happens.
learned today.
I had appendicitis.
Uh-oh.
I didn't talk about this last week, did I? Do you remember?
No.
Kind of feels like I told this story recently. Anyway, I was working at the grocery store, the first one, not the second one.
Mhm.
And I woke up one day, and I was like, my stomach is not right, and it was like a different kind of pain. It was like I can't even move, like I didn't have to shit, I didn't have to like throw up.
Mhm.
It was like somebody like jammed like a hot knife into my side. And I was like,
Oh,
that's
no.
not good, but like I also have a shift at 8:00, so what's an American to do in that situation? Am I right?
You gotta go to work.
You gotta go to work. You gotta.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, I'm at work, and grocery store work requires you to do some lifting. I couldn't even pick up boxes. I couldn't even pick up like the fruits and the vegetables to bring them around the store, or the pasta or whatever I was moving around that day.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, this is not right. So I told there was a new guy who like it was like his second day on the job, and I was supposed to be like giving him pointers and like getting him up to speed. And I'm like drenched in sweat on the verge of collapse, and this guy's like, "What the hell's going on with you, man?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." Anyway, I didn't even last like an hour. I told my boss, who, by the way, I was also chill with this boss because that's just key, boys.
Yeah,
That's the knowledge I'm going to impart on everybody today. Be cool with your boss.
don't have a problem with authority.
No, you can have a problem with authority, but when you're trying to just like make money and keep your head down, just be cool with your boss.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went to him and I was like, "Listen, I got cut out," which is again because we're cool and I didn't do that ever. He was like, "Yeah, I get that. All right, you could go." I went home. I just somehow drove myself home, and my mom's a nurse, and she's like, "Yeah, I knew you had appendicitis. I just didn't think it was like this bad. So you're gonna go to the ER like right now, because appendicitis, like generally speaking, is when your appendix, which you don't need, but everybody has. It's like a little tiny organ.
Yeah.
The appendicitis is when it gets infected for whatever reason, and it's generally not a big deal. But if you don't get it treated, it can burst, and then you've got all kinds of like bacteria floating around in your insides. That's not good. That can kill you.
Yeah, but why was your mom just like, probably he's not that bad. He's
No. Well, because again, she's a nurse. She's calm under pressure.
Yeah.
So she's like, all right, I know what to do. We're going to get you to the ER. She like drove me to the ER. I was like in a pretty bad state at this point. So like I was just like limp and being dragged around everywhere. And yeah, I know what you're talking about with the drugs. Like they hook you up to an IV and you're on the table like going in for surgery, right?
Uh-huh.
And they're like talking to you and they're like, all right, we're going to like put the sleepy drugs in now. And you're like, okay, like I'm going to, because they say we're going to count down and you might drift off.
Yeah.
And you don't expect it at all because you're conscious 1 second, like you're having a conversation, and then it's lights out.
Yep. Best sleep you're ever going to have.
Best sleep you ever have, but then you suddenly awaken somewhere else at a different time of day in a different location. That's extremely disorienting.
It's like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, I was tripped out. Luckily, my appendix did not burst, so there was no issues. My mom knew the surgeon, so she was like wandering around the hospital the whole time I was there.
Jesus.
She goes and finds the surgeon. This is true, by the way. I don't know why I keep saying that, but like all these stories are true. She goes and finds the surgeon, and the guy comes into the room while I'm like half in a coma, and he's holding a little jar. And what's in the little jar, dude?
Dude, no way he brought your appendix into the room.
He brought my appendix, and he goes to my mom, like, do you want to take it home? Like, I'll just let you take it. Mom was like, nah, I'm just going to take a picture. We're good. Dude, this is what medical professionals do. They're so weird.
Dude, they didn't even ask me if I wanted my cyst.
It probably
was whack.
Yeah, I feel like the people who want their cyst, I think that might be a little bit more of a niche interest.
Jerry asked me if I was going to keep it. Like, no, Jerry, I'm not going to keep this cyst.
I did not keep my appendix.
Dude, you could have had it on a jar right next to where your cats hang out.
Yuck, dude, come on.
Oh, no.
That'd be sick.
I did spend the night in the hospital in excruciating pain, and they gave me morphine. Max and Sam.
AJ gets addicted to hard drugs.
I will tell you this right now. I tell this to everybody. If at all possible in your life, do not ever go near morphine and by extension heroin and like high dose painkillers like Oxy or something, okay? That shit
AJ, were you a Mighty Morphin?
No, I'm telling you, man.
Morphine
My mom let me have like that one hit that first night, that one bump. And then she literally told like the nurses and the doctor, it was like no more. She took all the painkillers they prescribed me and flushed them. And was like, not a chance.
Dude, AJ's the Mighty Morphin Ranger.
I will tell you this. Don't go near that stuff, man. It is dangerous. I get why people lose their fucking minds on it.
And look at that. We've gone completely full circle from beef to getting addicted to hard painkillers.
Yeah.
Let's end the day strong, and let's go over what we learned today. Sam, you know you're always first. What did you learn today?
All right. What I learned today: if I ever have to take Max to any appointment, make sure he poops first.
That's really a solid option.
Clear those bowels.
Clear the barrels, baby. All right, AJ, what did you learn today?
I learned that it wasn't just me who tried to cozy up to my bosses. That's like a generally accepted strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And I also learned that it works. It's just the way to do things.
I learned not to be the body by the river. Thank you. Have a good night.